Hi everyone, it's Margaret here. I really don't like the phrase getting older. And I noticed in this title to this video that I'm going to record for you, it says, things I don't do now that I'm older. And I don't know exactly what that means anymore because I don't actually feel older in so many ways. I feel younger. I feel older in some, my body is like definitely not looking like it did when I was 18. But in terms of getting older, I think it's a little bit of a misconception. But I do think that it's important to look at the things that we do differently as we get into our 60s and 70s, and whether that's getting older or just more aware or more sort of sensitive to what's important in life and prioritize correctly. I think it's important to just chat about it. So Lily Bradshaw is one of our bloggers. I love her articles. We have some amazing writers that help us with content now, and she's written this article on 5 things I no longer do now that I'm older, and I think they're so relevant, and I just wanted to share. By the way, just so you know, it's super, super hot today. I'm sitting here in my little room. I've got my fan on, so if it starts to blow my hair around, forgive me. And I've got my water in my mug because it's hot. And I know that I'm not in the hottest part of the world for sure. So cheers, everyone. Okay, things we go through in life that we change. Lily points out, of course, there are many things that we are valuing, that we love in life, that are very useful as we've gotten older. But some of the things that are harmful they just hold us back. Thinking about the past, or worrying about the future. Just time, like living in the moment, is certainly where I'm trying to go these days. And I think a lot of people, as they get into their 60s and 70s, appreciate that. And they do it more deliberately. So as regards to the future, who knows? Who knows? It's so funny. Earlier this year, I was something strange happened. They were putting up Christmas lights outside my window. And it was like, what is that noise? And I opened the window, and there was the curtain, and there was this man in like one of those little carriages, it's the middle of the night, putting up lights. And I thought, oh, okay. And I went back and I sat down and thought, I could have had like an alien landing on my window, and I would have gone, oh, hi. Like nothing would surprise me anymore. Like this man floating past my window in one of those little cranes. I was like, okay. And I think you just get into that state of mind, like, nothing is going to predict the future, and we live day to day. Honestly, I think that's the way. And so, like Lily, I start every day being grateful for what I have. I try to make every day a little mini adventure. I travel. If I don't physically travel, I read, or I just talk to friends, or do some videos that ground me. But there's some things that may not be so happy in the present moment, like I don't know, going to the dentist or waiting for an appointment. Those are things that we want to get past. But I think we can live with just about anything these days, and just we can do things to make life in all of its complexity in the present moment enjoyable and fun. Okay, let's try at least. We have to put a positive spin, I think, onto things that we might for example, Lily says, if you go to the dentist, buy yourself some flowers afterwards. Small things can bring joy, and I think that's the way to look at it. Treat yourself if you have to do something that you don't really want to do. Okay. The second thing that Lily says is, I don't automatically say yes. Now, I personally, like her, love doing things for people. I'm a doer. I'm a giver. I really go out of my way to make, contributions. But I think saying no is important. And as I said it a million times since we started 60andMe, no is a complete sentence. You do not need to say no because, or no and then explain. Just no. No, thank you. I can't accept, or thank you for the invitation, not this time. But no is an important word. Care about what you choose to do with your time. I do not anymore hold on to negativity. Now, that's hard, I know, because there is so much going on that you might consider, difficult or challenging. Someone, your husband's left you for a younger woman. You've got a diagnosis that's really, scary. You've got, things happening in your life. I just dropped something on my foot a minute ago. I was moving a piece of wood, and I dropped it. Don't hold on to the negativity. Just move on. Whatever you're worrying about now, you're going to regret 10 years from now. So just let go, and it's uplifting. It's just a way to, shift the lens. And I know, and people are going to say, what if this happens and this is awful? And it's like really hard to not be impacted by it, but let's try not to hold on to it. Try to move forward with constructive ideas and constructive solutions and responses, to whatever it is that might be on your mind. And I think that the secret there is, it frees up space. It gives you space in your heart and in your mind to move on to more positive things. Let that negativity have its moment if it has to be there. And I know grieving, for example, is a really difficult one that takes, forever. It takes forever. There's no boundary on grief. If you've lost someone, or you've lost something important in your life, or you've had to deal with a transition that is an illness, for example, a diagnosis, of course it's hard to feel positive about those things. But if it's a simple thing like feeling invisible, or simple, if it's a thing like feeling invisible, like the waiter ignores you at the restaurant, or that you didn't get the thing that you really wanted from something, that's in my opinion negativity that we can let go. Another thing that Lily reminds us about, which she does not do as she's older now, is buying clothes that she doesn't really need, or buying things that she doesn't really need. Now I woke to this many years ago, and I've realized the value of doing, not having. I rarely buy things anymore. I think I've had this top for 10 years. I just love the color, and it washes up beautifully, and it's, I don't need to buy a lot of stuff. Now, that's not to mean that I don't shop, because I like shopping, and I like buying little things, for example, I look on my desk. I went into a really cool shop the other day called Parfois. I should have worn it with this, actually. That would have been beautiful. Parfois is a Spanish shop, and they have one at the Zurich train station. I walked in, $25 this was, and it was marked down to $7.95. So I thought, I would buy it for $7.95 just for that bead. But you know what I'm saying. You get caught up in things, and you might to buy things, but I don't really need it. It's not like I haven't got a necklace or two around the house, but I just love to sometimes treat myself, and why not? So buy things you love, and don't buy things you don't need. Okay. Important safety tip. And I think the next thing and the final thing that Lily mentions, and I think she's covered really the top 5 here, is worry. And then she says that for years she worried about everything. And I'm a bit of a worrier. I must admit it. But now I worry about the world. I worry about people that don't have as much as I do. I worry about some of the other things that are going on, and no politics, but you know what I'm saying. I worry about the direction, and I think a lot of people do. But fear about simple things like what you should do, what you shouldn't do, whether you wear this thing or that thing, whether people care about how you look, or whether you're smart enough, or whether you read the right books, or wearing the right clothes, or whatever. Those things are not any worth, in my opinion, and worth worrying about. We're not on this planet for very long, really, in the great scheme of things. And I think Lily said it beautifully. She had a note. She said, we're not on this beautiful earth for a long time, so I've decided to spend the rest of my time being happy. Thank you, Lily. And it's really lovely. And I think that if you can identify in your mind things that you are not going to be drawn to anymore, that is sucked into anymore, that you're going to not worry about the future, dwell on the past. You're not going to automatically say yes to every little thing, and say, push away negativity. Keep those spending habits a little bit more, focused. Then maybe they'll find some joy. So are there things that you don't do now as you're getting older that you did when you were younger? Any of these 5 things that you've kind of let go now? I'd be really interested. Look, we're here on 60ME to bring the conversation to you, and you bring your conversation to us. So use this platform, and we've got YouTube here. We're on Facebook. We've got, I'm on TikTok, Instagram. We're going to be starting a special 60ME channel. Right now on Instagram, it's my own channel. And so you can find me, of course, but we've got Instagram is a much more important channel than it used to be for people. So that's the thing. And also we've got don't forget, we've got our new Patreon supporters group page or tier. We have a supporters group because we don't charge anything for our content, and it's a new one called Community Pages, and it's actually a place to go and chat 24/7 on Patreon, kind of like a chat room. And we've got 10 different little rooms, categories that you can chat in, like travel and food, recipes and hobbies and pets and pictures, all kinds of things, books. We've got a book conversation going on there. So pay attention to that if you're interested in just jumping into this next world of not caring so much about this stuff. Okay, so that's Patreon, patreon.com/60andme, all words. Okay, everybody, well, have a fabulous day wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever your heart is driving you to, and we'll see you again soon. Okay, lots of love.